I think it's important for the SME sector to understand the fact that they also got to be local,
Yes.
yet regional and
Yes.
global.
Yes.
It's those
Yes.
steps. And therefore, the understanding of local tax,
Yes.
legal engagement is very important.
Yes.
Because those structures will not just change and replaced by international. The whole idea of internationalization is not replacement.
Yes.
Is enhancement.
Yes, yes.
So enhancing the local structure to be able to enable companies to grow bigger.
Yes.
And therefore, in future, by being international level in terms of financial reporting standards, you can be accessible to more capital.
Yes.
And therefore go global.
Yeah, as a lawyer, I find that I think your profession is much easier to globalize, to get globalized, to get internationalized in terms of law, internalization of law, because transplanting, it's not easy in the legal profession because of different culture, different norm and everything. But at least in your sector, this is very standardized approach already. But the context of Cambodia, there's another dimension I think it's very important also, that as we move toward a higher economic growth, you see the emergence of potential stock market participant, IPO, right? And in the context of the ASEAN Economic Community, there's also another dimension that, look, for you to be competitive in this globalized or regionalized world, you need to be able to deal with the big boys when they come. So you shouldn't be afraid of the big company coming in. In fact, you should look at them as your potential partner or shareholder, but you have to get ready. Your accounting, your paper trail have to be in order. So what do you think of that?
I think you're very right in pointing the fact that when multinationals come to a country, they cannot be standalone.
Yes.
They cannot ignore the local segment. They got to engage the local segment to enable them to keep their costs low.
Yes.
Because if they just take a plant from the US and plant it and bring all the US labor to do it, then the whole idea of engaging Cambodia will be economically not sensible. Therefore, it's important. So therefore, it gives opportunities, therefore, SME sector to be able to engage with MNCs. So you're absolutely right. In order to do that, you must speak their language.
Yes.
Whether it's the international language of commerce. So therefore, finance and accounting comes in to be engaged in that, to be able to standards in terms of quality standards. You can't therefore remain local.
Yes.
I think I would have to stress that there are local standards, and we must respect. As international engagement takes place, the respect of local standards is there, but also vice versa, the respect of international standards. And it's important to understand, engage, and benefit, I think. In any engagement, people are important.
Yes.
And that's where I think comes in terms of being able to learn, whether it's language, whether it's an accounting standards.
Yes.
So you find that understanding international accounting standards, more and more different countries are moving to international accounting standards globally.
Yes.
And that actually facilitates and enhances the growth of commerce. So and I think that's the economic growth comes from that. And it very much therefore also protects the local cultures, local environment, and so on. ASEAN integration is engagement of people, not just
at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, that's the most important. And I believe that being so closely knit and travel being so easy, accessible to everybody nowadays with budget airlines, I think that engagement is being enhanced. But it's important, therefore, various segments of the economy engages as well.
Yes. Now, I see you are in 10 countries, very broad, from Brunei, China, Hong Kong, India, Mauritius, all the way to even Uganda. Where do you fit Cambodia, in terms of its capacity to integrate, in this case, into the ASEAN Economic Community? You think we're ready in a few years' time?
I would say, if I look the barometer as the number of trained accountants, international trained,
with the size of the population.
With size of population, I understand Cambodia is about 14 million people. Currently, there are, I would say, qualified accountants, about 150 to 200 internationally qualified local accountants, and they are in industry and commerce. There are about 47 registered firms with the local institute.
Oh.
So therefore, if you look at that, there is about 3 people to a firm. That by itself, the number is too small.
Too small.
Yeah. What is the right number? I would say that, and you cannot produce like instant trees accountants overnight.
Yes.
Like lawyers as well, you
Yes,
can't
yes,
produce overnight.
yes,
So it's a
you
matter
can.
of years of training.
Yes.
And therefore, I think it's important that from tertiary education upwards to professional level, it will take anywhere between 5 to 10 years for a person to train up. So therefore, to get to level of about 1,000 accountants, it will take possibly another 15 years. You know. So therefore, I think it's important to start now. To get, I think it's important also to understand the local dynamics.
Yes, yes.
I think there is the good part of Cambodia is that there are many institutions, universities providing tertiary level education.
Okay.
And I think that means the number of spaces available is there.
Is there.
But for the young population,
Yes, yes.
which I understand is about 6 million, 6 million people under 15,
Yes.
is not enough for the future.
Ah, okay. It's not
That's
enough.
one. Number two is that currently, as the numbers are, the number of graduates produced every year is about 15,000, I understand, or plus. It's important that the quality
That's it.
is there.
Yeah.
And I think that by engaging, I think it's important not to fear.
Yeah.
Not to fear.
Yes.
Overseas education coming in, but to engage. We are here to not to take over. It's to supplement, enhance,
Supplement, to partner, to
partner,
complement. Yeah.
and to erase the
Yeah,
quality.
yeah, yeah.
And I think the focus is not a quantity of accountants, important the quality of accountants. So I think the policy, therefore, would need to encourage,
Yes.
facilitate,
Yeah.
to be able to get those numbers up.
You know, I was in my 6th year as Vice Minister of Commerce from 1999 to 2005. I was very much behind the accession of Cambodia to WTO, and that's where you negotiate service commitment or liberalization of the various sector. And accounting is definitely one of the sector that we are pushing to open up, and we can see that 10 years after the policy to open up the sector, yes, the number is not there yet, right? But it's a good start.
It's a good
It's a
start.
good start, and the fact that your firm can open, your operation here, and bring international standard education. To me, I always stress that you got to start with quantity first, right? And the market will settle.
That's right.
But then after that, you move to quality. And I'm glad that now the new Minister of Education, he's very much pro-reform. He appreciates the need to have a strong accreditation, policy, process. And to me, at the end of the day, you can only do, so much for a sector if you don't have a good accreditation, system. I believe in that, because when we join ASEAN, we have to be at least near, or, not yet at par, but we have to be somewhere there that, look, you can work with them. KPMG come to Cambodia, they should be able to get some good people. And nothing prevent young Cambodian to look also outward. Why you always fear the inward inflow of foreign professionals to Cambodia? The Cambodian should think that, why can I fly to and work in KL?
That's right.
Why can I go to have a nice job in Koh Samui?
Yes.
Right? I mean, if there's an opening, right?
Yes.
So that sort of economic opportunity at the regional level, right?